Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well this week. You'll have to excuse all the background noise. I'm having a chicken palace built. So if you hear the noises, I'll show you the photos later and you'll see what's going on in my back garden. But I really hope that this week, however your circumstances are, good or bad, that you would give yourself a 10 out of 10 for being authentically you this week. Sounds a bit strange, but I think sometimes we're not always ourselves and we need to think about how we can get back to that authentic self. Thank you really this week for all your likes and shares, and particularly your comments. And I've been so impacted by one comment particularly this week that I'm going to stop the whole series, there you go, there's the drill, and answer this comment and this question. And it was, how do I keep myself keeping on? How do I do life? How do I keep on journaling? How do I keep facing forward? I've done a few posts about this, I think, and a few videos, but let's tackle it again. I talked with one of my coaches this week, and her answer, or one of her answers, was stunningly wonderful, honestly, and I'm going to share it with you in a moment. But first, I want to acknowledge just how hard it really is to just keep on going and to be consistent and regular and keeping on. There are weeks when I don't write a thing in my journal, that I don't sit in my she shed for days on end. And when that happens, oh my word, I'm not a good Jill. I'm not creative, I don't do my planning, I have all the checkpoints of problems and I don't do anything about it. And it may not be for something simple, it could be, I know after my son Dan died, for 2 years I couldn't write a word. I was in trauma, and then grief, starting that grief cycle. I felt like if I wrote a word, I would have to, I would never stop. It's like crying. I didn't cry for quite a while. But now I've learned to be easy on myself, to love myself, and to remember that it isn't these habits that keep me going, or my goals that keep me going. Actually, it's love that keeps me going. It's love that keeps me sane. I know that if I never achieved another goal, if I never made another video, if I never cooked another meal for the rest of my life, it would not matter a jot to the people who love me and whom I love in return, whom I love, my family, my friends, and God. My identity is not caught up in what I achieve, what I do in my life. My identity is rooted in my fruitfulness. Let me explain. It's rooted in the love that I plant in others that grows. It's fruitful. In the kindness that I speak into other people's lives. And I do try to be really present, really with the person in front of me. Heidi Baker calls it stopping for the one. It's a really great term. I've got tick boxes galore, lists, you name it. I've got ways of organising myself. And of course, if I want to eat and sleep in a warm bed, well no, I don't want to eat in a warm bed, but you know what I mean. If I want to eat and sleep, then I do need to earn a living. But we humans are way more than what we do. We are mostly made up of what we believe about ourselves, about others, about our world, and who we are in the world. And I believe that love, peace, patience, kindness, joy, these things are more real often, more real than the things that we face day to day, the problems. I can remember adults from my childhood teaching me lessons that maybe were not great lessons, but still they taught me. And it wasn't that what they taught me as a teacher perhaps, but what I learned about the importance of kind words to a sad child. I learned that to say thank you and to look into someone's eyes as I say it is really important. I think I also learned from adults that to make a simple connection with another human being is almost like the most important thing in the world. And I think especially today, in these days when everyone is on their phones, me included, look, I'm on my phone now. I make connections when I'm working in the City of London by just this week saying to people, I saw a lady with the most glorious shoes. I had to tell her they're wonderful. I make a point of looking out for great shoes and telling people. Or a young man sitting in front of me, how kind he was. He gave an apple out of his bag to a homeless person. Or how great. I saw this lady wearing the most fabulous red coat. It looked brilliant on her. And I told her. And I smile at people. These meaningful conversations I have with my coachees are incredibly important and keep me centered and inspired. And of course, I have, as a coach, I have a coach, and I would say that, wouldn't I? Of course. Who do you have these meaningful conversations with? Who inspires you? Who listens to you with a whole heart and not with the desire just to give you a clever answer or to have a debate? And I'm so sorry, but sadly today we often have to pay for these meaningful conversations. Hands up, guilty as charged. People pay me for meaningful conversations. But in the spirit of openness and kindness, I do have a couple of pro bono coaching spaces to start in the new year after the general election, whatever happens. So please get in touch. Even if you don't live in the UK or anywhere near me, we can maybe do a connection on Skype or one of the other platforms. If you can afford to pay me so that I can eat and sleep in a warm bed, then please suggest an amount that you feel you'll be able to pay. I can't promise that everyone will get a space. And honestly, if it isn't me or another coach that you're able to talk to, then find a friend, make a friend. Ask them if they will talk to you and have a meaningful conversation with you. Maybe there are other people who are listening and making comments to this video. You might be able to connect with some of them, with each other, and talk about the stuff that's in the video, the things that were meaningful to you, that come up for you. So make a connection. Smile at someone today. To restore myself and inspire myself, I imagine my family. I close my eyes now, I can see them all. And I put Christ in the center, my image of Christ. And he's in a circle of light and such wonderful light and peace. And I imagine my family coming in one by one into that light and peace. And I'm so grateful for each of them. And I remind myself that leaving the world with more love and more kindness is my legacy to them, because there isn't any money. They know that. My coachee's way of inspiring herself was so brilliant. I'm going to share it now. I've asked her permission. She looks at a website called, or she looks at Rightmove, but there's lots of them like Rightmove, for her dream home. She loves doing this. She absolutely loves it. And I asked her what home meant to her. She said stability, safe place, a haven. Also no drama, and seeing myself being happy. Wow. Wow. So what does home mean to you? How would home refresh you and inspire you and keep you keeping on? If you imagine yourself in your dream home, what's going on? Who else is there? How does it represent that feeling of home to you? But maybe it doesn't represent home, it represents freedom. So what kind of freedom? Where do you feel this freedom or this home in your body? Where do you feel the peace? Is there a colour? Is there a shape? Guys, love to you all this week. Keep on keeping on, really. Blessings to you today and every day. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Bye.
Samuel, you're gonna wave, Samuel.
Hi.
And Samuel is building us a chicken palace. And the reason why it's called a chicken palace is because, as you can see, not only is it a rather large construction for just 3 chickens, and it's actually to keep foxes and dogs out, but it's to look after the chickens well, and so that we get lovely eggs to sell at our 5-bar gate. So we will keep you updated on how well Samuel is doing and when he'll finish it, and then he'll introduce you to the chickens. Bye everyone.